All right, hey friends, so I think we are live. Sorry for some delay here. I was just trying to get my audio set up. Welcome to Monday evening yoga class. I'm gonna make a few adjustments here. So we're in my studio and we're gonna start sitting tonight. So take your time moving to an easy seated position on your mat, easy cross-legged position. Again, I'm gonna adjust where my camera is so you can see me as I'm doing this, and you can kind of see how my room is set up here today. So, all right, easy cross-legged position, bring your hands to your knees, and let's just get started this way. So welcome for those of you who are joining live. If you're joining later, if you're seeing this in the future, welcome as well. This is a live stream practice, but you can obviously take it whenever you want to. We're gonna start sitting, so hands to knees, let your shoulders stack over your hips, and just take a moment to close your eyes here as we get set up for our practice. So I know for me, I'm gonna take this moment to shift myself from getting to practice mode to actual practice mode, which usually means it takes a little mental decompression. So again, whatever it took for you to show up for this practice today, give yourself permission to truly transition away from your life and to this time on your mat for yourself. So maybe closing your eyes and focusing inward. Check in, feel your sit bones against your mat, feel your hands against your knees. Maybe even feel your eyelids dropped down over your eyes, and just all these like physical sensations that can bring you to this present moment. And then start to check in with your breath. This will be an intermediate practice tonight, but we will start off a little slow. So I think it's helpful to prepare for the practice, check in with your body, warm up things before we get into stuff that's a little more flowy, a little stronger. But maybe as you are still just sitting for another moment, choose an intention for your practice tonight, something that, I don't know, jumps out at you and makes you feel like, hey, I'm in it. I want to be here and practice and keep yourself going, even if things get challenging, even if you get bored, just something to help stay connected. So choose that now. And then let's go ahead and come to hands and knees. So setting up a tabletop position for a few cat-cow stretches. So really simple, straightforward warm-up, shoulders over wrists, hips over knees. Inhale, head and tail lift, chest and belly drop, and then exhale, arch the spine towards the ceiling. So the sway back is the cow, and the arched spine is the cat. I encourage introducing a Ujjayi breathing practice here. So gentle narrowing of the back of the throat, creating a bit of friction. So as you breathe here, you can hear the breath moving in and out, softly, gently. Try to find a nice steady rhythm that your body can also follow along with. And then we're gonna add on here. So look, first of all, feel free to stay with cat-cow and keep it simple. But if you'd like to make the movement a little bit broader, the next time you're about to go to cat pose, drop your hips to your heels and move all the way to child's pose. Inhale back up to hands and knees for cow. And exhale into child's pose. So we're just making the movements a little bit bigger, a little bit broader here. Continue to try to follow the rhythm of your breath. And we're gonna make one more addition here. So just adding in pose by pose. Next time you're in cow, instead of going to child's pose, tuck toes, lift knees and hips, move the heart back for down dog. And then the inhale, you're gonna bring your knees back to the ground for cow. And then alternating. So this time you'll exhale to child's pose. Each inhale can bring you back to the hands and knees. Exhale, down dog. And hands and knees. And take your time here. We'll go through a couple more. I'm going on faith that you guys can hear me, that this is streaming okay. This is always an experiment when I change platforms for things.
Move to down dog. We're going to add in one more pose here. So the next time, and take your time here. So for me, I'm still going to child's pose. But the next time you get to down dog, instead of dropping the knees again, you're going to come forward to plank. And then plank will be the thing that transitions to child's pose. So from down dog, the shoulders come forward over the wrists, leveling out. And then knees can come down for child's pose. So the way the breathing goes is inhale to cow. Exhale, down dog. Inhale to plank. And exhale to child's pose. So it's a little circle, a little loop, a little ring that we just can continue on with until we decide where we want to hold and stop. And I'm actually going to encourage stopping with plank. So the next time you get to plank, make any adjustments you need to kind of get to the full version of the pose, where hips are level with the shoulders, balls of the feet are on the floor, back of the neck is long, and the core feels really strong and supportive here. I know it's really hard to see the shape our body is actually making in plank pose, but you might notice if your hips are really high. You might also notice if your hips are really sagged down, and we really want to be somewhere in the middle there. Now let's lower to the mat, so bend your knees, drop them to the floor, bend your elbows, bring your heart down between the hands, and then let's take Sphinx pose, so easy back bend, supporting yourself with the forearms, the elbows are under the shoulders, and the chest is lifted. Breathe. Now you could stay here or move your hands to where your elbows are currently and come into cobra pose. So the hips, the legs still stay on the floor, but you gently press down. The elbows can still be soft. In fact, we really wouldn't want to lock them, because when we lock the elbows, oftentimes the shoulders shrug up to the ears, and really we want the shoulders melting down and away from the ears so the chest is rounded. And then from here, down dog. Root into the hands, lift the hips, heart back. And this time in down dog, spend a little time lengthening the upper body, spreading the fingers, rooting down with the hands, and then bending one knee, let the opposite leg straighten, and so on and so forth. Listen, I do know this is an intermediate class. I'm giving far too much instruction for that. We're just getting started. So these are all just reminders for your yoga brain. Breathe. All right, and then from down dog, take a moment to walk the feet forward towards the top of the mat, and let's just take dangling. So feet about hip distance, soft knees, let the upper body hang, dangle, maybe nod or shake the head. You can sway the torso if that feels good. Maybe bounce the knees a little bit. And then bending the knees even more, we're going to roll up to standing. Take the shoulders back and down a couple of times. And then if you're not at the top of the mat, go ahead, walk forward. Big toes touch, heels slightly apart. Take a little time pulling the navel in toward the spine, dropping the tailbone towards the ground. Lift the toes, spread them wide. Engage the quads, but try not to lock the knees. And then palms together in front of the heart. Toes can come back down to the floor, by the way. Just kind of fanned out and not taking a lot of weight or gripping. Find your breath. We're going to go into a series of sun A's just to really get the body flowing. When you're ready, on an inhale, reach the arms out and up. Exhale, swan dive forward over your legs. Just one inhale to Ardha Uttanasana, flattening out the back for a half lift. Exhale, step to plank and lower down. And maybe you're taking chaturanga, maybe knees come down first. Inhale, cobra, or maybe you're ready for upward dog on the tops of the feet. And then exhale, downward facing dog again, and hold for a few breaths. Down dog, kind of our home base for the evening. We'll be here a lot. Find a way to make this pose feel balanced for you between effort and ease. There's also kind of a balance here between a standing pose and a forward fold and arm balance and what all is this pose? It's a lot of different things. Balance it. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, step, walk, or hop the feet. Half lift. Exhale, folding Uttanasana, and then reverse your swan dive. Come up with a flat back, palms together. We're gonna do several more of these, so just allow yourself to move at the pace of your breath. Inhale, come up. Exhale, dive down. Find a rhythm that works for you. Half lift. Exhale, high to low plank. Inhale, back bend. Exhale, downward facing dog. You can hold here anywhere from 1 to 5 breaths, but when you are ready to move on, you'll look forward again, step, walk, or hop. And again, this is a circle, it's a cycle. We can just continue on until we decide on a stopping point. So let's take a few more rounds here. Follow the pace of your own breath. All right, let's meet up in the next down dog. So take your time getting there. Continue to follow the sequence, follow your breath. But the next time you the next time you find yourself, I guess, in down dog, just take a moment to hold. So I'll just wait a couple breaths here and you're able to catch up, do another round. And then from down dog, we'll go ahead and take the right leg into the air, open the hip and bend the knee. Point the knee to the sky as you drop your heel to your hip. Try to keep the shoulders level even though the hips are twisting in this variation of down dog split. And then just keep the knee bent, simple. Bring the knee to the chest, shoulders forward over the wrist. Hug the leg up towards your body. Inhale, down dog split. Again, push the foot into the air. Exhale, step the right foot forward. Lower the left knee down, extend the foot. Bring the arms up for a low lunge. Sinking the hips forward towards the front heel. Arms reach into the air, or if you want, you could bring hands to interlace behind the head, widen the elbows as you lift your chest, open your heart. And then taking your right hand to the top of the right thigh, pull your left arm over for a twist. Press the palms and turn your chest right. Relying a little bit on outdoor light tonight, so hopefully it stays put, but as it gets dark, I might have to turn another light on. Tuck the back toes under now and see if you can just straighten out that back leg to float the knee off the ground in a high lunge twist now. And then from here, standing on the right foot, let's step the left foot forward and come to a prayer twist. Feet together, knees side by side, continuing to press palms. And then we can shift to chair pose. Feet and legs are already in place, arms alongside the ears, Utkatasana. Sinking the hips more down than back, so find the zigzag, let the tail tuck, and let the weight come to your heels. Exhale, Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Let's move through vinyasa to return to down dog. You can always skip the vinyasas if you prefer, so if they're not feeling good to you, just take them out and hold in down dog. On an inhale, left leg up, open the hip, bend the knee. So same variation as we did on the first side. Asymmetry. We're going to try to do the same thing here. Knee to chest, shoulders come forward. Hold and stabilize. Inhale, down dog split. Exhale, step the left foot forward. Lower the right knee for the low lunge. Extend the toes behind you. Pad that back knee if you need to. By the way, I didn't mention that on the first side, but if it feels uncomfortable, you can. Arms up, and you might like, again, interlace fingers, hands behind the head, widen the elbows if that feels better to you, especially at the end of a day you've been working at a desk. Feel free to take that variation. All right, we'll take the twist the other way. So you can use your left hand on the left thigh to kind of pull around, so you're using your own body to help give you an extra bit of torque, I guess. Press the palms then to turn more into the twist. Tuck the back toes, float the back knee off the ground, reach through that back heel. And then we're going to carefully step the right foot forward to join the left. Feet together, knees side by side. Press the palms, turn the torso. And then coming to Utkatasana chair. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. And vinyasa. Make your way back to down dog. From here, let's take down dog split with square hips. So toes are flexed to the ground. Thigh stays rotated inward to face the ground. Look forward, step forward, this time high lunge. So keep the back knee up, front knee over the ankle. Come on up, nice and strong here. Crescent pose. Arms can reach up alongside the ears. Now from here, let's take a standing split on the right foot. Fingertips down, left leg up into the air, fold your body. And then left foot is going to join right at the top of the mat. And once again, bend the knees, coming to chair pose, Utkatasana. Now this is going to be a little bit backwards, what we did before. Left elbow to the outside of the right knee, press the palms, twist right. And now, standing on the right foot, step the left foot back. Coming back to our high lunge twist. This time, if you like, let the arms open out. And then from here, float up, keep your twist, reach it back. Right hand comes to the left leg, left arm up overhead, looking over your right shoulder, maybe to your left heel. All right, and then we're going to plant the left hand, right arm up, easy twist, stack the shoulders. You're still in your lunge, still twisting. From here, we can move to a side plank on the left. So carefully rolling to the outer edge of your left foot. Try to keep the shoulders stable. The upper body's already there. Walk that right foot back, side plank. Face the mat. Here's your vinyasa. Take it or leave it. Second side, so left leg up, square hip, down dog split. The idea here is to have a diagonal from hands to hip to heel. Look forward, step forward. High lunge, crescent pose. Back leg straight and strong, bending into that front knee towards 90 degrees if you're able to get there. Crescent pose, upper body upright. And then we're going to shift here into our standing split. So fingertips are going to come to the floor ahead of the foot. Right leg reaches up. Fold your body towards your left leg. From here, top of the mat, chair pose, feet together, knees bend, Utkatasana. And then let's twist this time to the left. So right arm outside of that left leg, press the palms. We've been here, but we're going to take it back in the sort of the reverse of the sequence we did to get here before. Right leg is going to step back. High lunge twist again. This time, let your arms open out with the right arm outside the left leg. And then keep your body twisting left, but bring it upright. So the hips are, or the shoulders are now over the hips, or you might even tilt back to kind of a revolving reverse warrior. Maybe the left hand comes to that outer right leg, right arm over the ear, look to your back heel, still lunging forward. And then when the right palm plants, stack the shoulders and really setting up. This is our easy twist, but we want to set up that upper body for side plank before we move the legs to it. Now roll to the outer edge of the right foot and then work your left foot back into place. Lift the hips up, maybe lift your gaze to look to your top thumb. Turn back to the floor, you're in plank, take a vinyasa. Breathe in, down dog. All right, on an inhale, take the right leg up. Exhale, we're going to step it forward and take warrior one. Front knee over ankle, back heel down. Try to square off the hips when you come up so that you're working, the alignment of the pose to get a bit of a, tension stretch in those hip joints. I'm going to use the time we spend in this pose to just kind of put out there that this class for me used to be a Zoom class that I was having for people, they'd sign up and then they'd pay for the class, just sort of a drop-in fee. But I've moved it here as kind of a donation-based class. So if this is something that you would like to do, to donate for this class, like it's free, it's on YouTube, but you could donate. The way to do that is in the description for the video, although it's not because I had to change the video setup a couple of times here. But Venmo, my Venmo username is Namasturm. I do also have PayPal, so I'll put that in the description for the video if you want to donate. This one's a little bit like we're behind, we're running funny, so don't worry if you don't want to, but it's an option for the future. Hands come to the mat. Make your way through vinyasa to return to down dog. And then we'll do the other side. So left leg up on an inhale, exhale, step that foot forward. What did we hold? Like 10 breaths that last warrior one. So set up your warrior one. We're gonna be here just a little bit longer than we typically are in some of the standing poses. So give yourself a chance for the pose to first alignment, and then let the pose evolve and just kind of live in it for a bit. See if you can make it sustainable. Continue to breathe, smooth and steady. All right, take your time here. When you're ready to leave your warrior one, it's a vinyasa. Stepping back to plank, returning to down dog. All right, and then inhale, look to the top of the mat. Exhale, step walker, hop the feet forward. Half lift, fold, Bend the knees for chair pose, Utkatasana. Now, we're going to stand on the right foot. We're going to straighten it up and bring the left knee in to find balance. Hang on to your shin, shoulders over hips. Steady yourself out. Okay, couple of options. If you want, you could keep just the knee bent and just hang on with your left hand. If you want, you could bring your left fingers down and grab the left big toe and take that left leg out. Push the foot forward, right hand to the hip. Now, whether you have the knee or the foot, let's take the leg open to the side. Try to keep the hips level, straighten your standing leg. And then we're gonna release the left foot and try to step it behind us for warrior two. So front foot doesn't change, right? So just a reminder, try to keep that foot planted as you step the left foot back. Front knee over ankle, hips level out. A lot of times in class I see people left hip up. I mean, I probably do that myself sometimes, to be perfectly honest, because it's hard to tell, right? So trying to level out the hips with each other, and then shoulders right up above the hips. So not lunging forward with the shoulders, but keeping the sides of the torso upright and long. Look out over those front fingertips and try to make sure your front knee is bent right over your front ankle. Turn the front palm up. Keep the low body, reverse warrior. Back hand lightly resting on the back leg. We're not taking weight there. We're not buckling that back knee. Back leg is still straight, front knee is still bent. Reverse it. And then cartwheel hands to the mat. Here's your vinyasa. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, step, walk, or hop the feet. Half lift. Fold. Bend the knees, Utkatasana. Standing on the left foot, right knee in. Pull the leg up, standing in balance. Stay here with the right hand on the right knee, or right fingers come to grab that right big toe, leg extends out ahead of you. Left hand can be on your hip. Working the balance. Take your leg open if you can, to the side. Now, as we let go of the foot, we're gonna let it move back behind us. So it's gonna kind of step back. Front foot stays where it is, front knee over ankle. Here I can see better in the camera, right? So it's easier to fix if the pose is not right, but you can't always see yourself. Do your best to make the adjustments. You can use your hands on your hips to help you out. Arms out at shoulder height. Look over those front fingers. Warrior two. And then we're going to reverse the warrior. So stretching it all the way back. Cartwheel hands to the mat. Here's your vinyasa. Holding in down dog to take a couple of resting breaths. We're going to do a couple rounds of I don't know, it's the dancing warrior variation of a sun salutation B. Let's call it that. When you, next time you're ready to go to the top of the mat, inhale, look forward, exhale, step, walk, or hop. Half lift, fold, and then bend the knees. One breath in chair pose, Utkatasana. We're going to go right back into vinyasa, following the breath here. Uttanasana, inhale, Ardha, exhale. Jump to Chaturanga if you want to. Skip the vinyasa if you prefer, or somewhere in between, right? Down dog. From down dog, inhale, right leg up. One breath per movement. Exhale, step it forward. Back heel goes down. Inhale, warrior one. Exhale, open to warrior two. Inhale, reverse warrior. Now we'll take extended side angle, but let's hold because we haven't spent any time here yet tonight. So front forearm to the front thigh, top arm overhead alongside the ear. Deeper version, the right fingertips come to the floor alongside the outer edge of the foot. If that's not possible, a block could kind of split the difference for you. And then inhale, reverse that warrior. Exhale, hands to the mat, vinyasa. We're gonna go right into that second side. We'll hold, again, extended side, about 5 breaths. Inhale, left leg up. Exhale to step it forward. Warrior 1, warrior 2, reverse, and extended side angle. Top arm overhead. Inhale, reverse that warrior again, and hands to the mat. Here's your vinyasa. Breathe. All right, let's inhale, look forward. Exhale, step, walk, or hop the feet top of the mat again. Half lift and fold. And I said we were gonna go through this a couple more times. So let's take chair pose again and go through this whole sequence one more time, 1 breath per movement. Take this at your own pace. So follow the breath through vinyasa and then going through the dancing warrior sequence, 1 breath per movement, so you don't have to hold extended side. We'll meet in down dog at the end of it all. Do your best to keep a consistent rhythm. Probably won't be perfect, but you know, aim for it. And then holding to rest in down dog. You can always drop knees to the mat for child's pose if you prefer. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, step, walk, or hop the feet up. Half lift, fold, chair, and then let's just straighten the legs, come to standing, and we'll step out wide for Prasarita Padottanasana. So facing, the long side of your mat, parallel the feet about a leg length apart, hands to hips, and fold on down here. Let your head hang towards the floor, and you can, of course, bring your hands between your feet, lining them all up if you're able, elbows over wrists, head hangs. Did I already say that? Probably. Shift your weight forward toward the balls of the feet, lift the quads and open the backs of the legs. If anyone's feeling adventurous and they'd like to go into a tripod headstand here, please also be safe about this, but that is an option. Take your time if that's something you like in your practice. And if your feet are up, of course, at some point, bring them back down. And then those of us who have our feet on the floor, let's go ahead and come on up to stand and turn towards the right. So turn the right toes open, left toes in slightly, arms out. And then let's shift into a triangle pose, Trikonasana. Maybe back of the hand against the inner shin, top arm up, leaning head and shoulders back. Another option would be to reach down and grab your right big toe with the right fingers and pull up against the big toe for this kind of variation of triangle. Okay, now if you've got the toe, let that go. We're gonna reach back and then we're gonna move into dancer pose. So facing that right leg, bring the right arm forward, keep the left hand back. And so as you step onto the right foot and off the left, you can bend your left knee and hopefully grab the inner left foot. And then once you've got contact there, you can pull up and away and lift into the bow stretch. That is the dancer pose in addition to the balance that we're already doing.
From here, we're going to transition to eagle pose. So another balance pose. We're going to stay on the right foot and we're just going to bring that left leg around. And as you're doing that, the left arm can cross under the right. So we're winding limbs, both legs and arms. Bend the knees and sink down once the legs are wound. Lift the elbows up off the chest. From here, we can just unwind everything to chair pose again, Utkatasana. And then from there, dropping the sit bones slowly down. Use your hands if you need to come to boat pose, Navasana. Let the shins rise and balance on the sit bones. And then bringing feet to the mat, use your hands if you need to. We're going to come to a squat, Malasana. Elbows inside knees, press the palms. And then tonight I want to give you an opportunity to work on crow pose, Bakasana, if that is a part of your personal practice. If not, you can stay in this squat. But if you'd like to, shift your shins onto your upper arms, plant your palms, and bring the weight from the feet to the wrists, basically. Flicking the toes off the ground. Stay here in balance. Again, adventuresome ones could jump back to chaturanga. Otherwise, at some point when you're ready to let that one go, step to plank and take a vinyasa. Returning to down dog. Some days I'm adventurous. Some days I listen to my body as best I can. Some days it'll do things. Some days it's like, not today. Gotta honor that. All right, inhale, look to the top of the mat. Exhale, step, walk or hop the feet forward. Half lift, fold, Uttanasana. Now let's reverse this one. I've come up with a good flat back. Palms together. Step out wide. We're going to do a bunch of this on the other side, but we'll take a second variation of Prastrita. So we're not going to do it exactly like we did before, but instead, if you can, interlace those fingers, shoulders back. Elbows should be straight here. If you can't get the elbows straight and the shoulders are shoved forward, consider putting a towel between your hands or a strap so that you can straighten out those arms and keep the shoulders back so the chest stays open here. And then folding down, head hangs. The arms can reach up and over potentially, but you want to keep the shoulder blades tucked on the back, so don't let the shoulders drop towards your ears. Lift the quads, open the backs of the legs, shift your weight forward toward the balls of your feet. And then root down, rise on up, nice and easy. Okay, so this is where we go to the other side. So turn the left toes open, turn the right toes in a little, arms out, moving into triangle pose. Trikonasana, back of the hand against inner shin, or if you did on the first side, maybe reach down and clamp onto that big toe. And coming up, stretching back, moving towards dancer pose, this time on the left foot. Left hand reaches it forward, right hand reaches back to grab that right foot. Find the balance and then the stretch. All right, and now eagle. On the left, right leg over, right arm under. Wind those limbs. Do your best to stay in balance as you transition. Being able to balance in one pose is awesome. Being able to balance as you transition from one pose to another means you've got all of those points in between in which you are also balancing, so it really does create a higher level of overall stability. At least that's my thought. All right, chair pose, Utkatasana, back to it. And then sitting those hips down, sit bones down, really. Let's come to boat pose, Navasana. Float the feet. Find your way here.
And then we'll do the same thing we did before, repeat. So coming to a squat, malasana, elbows inside knees, press palms, stay here. Or if you try to crow pose, let's just, without too much thinking about it, see if you can just float into another one. Just give your body a chance to play. And then if you want to jump back, you can jump back. Again, not for me tonight, but make your way back through a vinyasa to down dog again. Okay, let's take knees to the floor and set up for a dolphin pose here. So the elbows or the forearms are going to come to the ground for dolphin pose. So bringing the elbows under the shoulders. So you don't want them too wide, right? Because then all of a sudden the shoulders are going to collapse to the floor. Really, you want those upper arms to support you. Interlace fingers, root the forearms down, tuck those toes, lift the knees and the hips, heart back, head hangs heavy down between the arms. Maybe walk the feet in a little closer if you can. Head should not be touching the floor. It's also not on your hands or your arms. Head is right between the arms, just dangling. And then take the right leg up if you can. Reach that foot for the ceiling. Root down a lot with the forearms. And then switch the leg. Slowly bring the right foot down. Try not to just drop it. And then left leg up. Reach it. The lift is, we can do it quick if we want to. But the challenge is to actually lower slowly so that we're resisting gravity as the leg comes back down. Knees to the floor, hips to the heels. Child's pose. Hey, we've flown through this one before, like we were flowing. Literally, that's what I mean, flown. Let's hold child's pose for a few breaths now. Okay, so one more opportunity for dolphin pose if you like, or again, for those who are feeling safe and adventurous simultaneously, maybe a little headstand practice here. This is for sure optional. I'm gonna walk you through the way I approach it. If you know you could do a headstand, but you need to be near a wall for it to be safe, please do so. There's no one there to catch you, or maybe there is, but you need to let them know what's going on, and hopefully you don't need them, but just in case. But if you're feeling safe, then nestle your head up by your hands. Same setup for the dolphin arm. The arms are the same setup as for dolphin though. Like we want the elbows right under the shoulders and not too wide. So your head then's gonna nestle up by your hands. And then you can walk the feet in after you've lifted your knees and hips. So feet come closer and closer until then you can take one up. Some people can float them both up. I used to do that, but then it got bad on my neck. And then your hips counterbalance, or that top leg counterbalances as the second leg just floats up. Reach up through the feet. Reach up through the tailbone. And engage your core so that you're not in kind of like a weird zigzaggy shape. You might be, right? You can't see, but we're trying to work the body as if we were standing on the ceiling, right? So we're working the legs and the torso to try to be in the alignment they would be in a standing posture. And then when you're ready to come down, it's the same thing, balance, counterbalance. If it's two legs and the hips counterbalancing for 2 feet, that's fine. The other option is the one leg comes down and the other leg counterbalances by reaching back. So you can come down as slowly as possible. And then second leg down. If you were on your head, take another child's pose, but this time stack your fists so that the forehead is on the fists and the back of the neck stays a little bit curved here. I know my audio is working, but I feel like I might be popping the volume here. So my apologies if it's not sounding good tonight. Streaming online feels like an experiment every time. All right. I think I'd never done this before, but I have. Let's go ahead and move back to downward facing dog. Take a little time here. resting. We're going to set up for a pigeon stretch here. So take the right leg up, open the hip, bend the knee. We did this early on, but this should feel good. Stretching the front of that right quad, and then bring your right knee forward behind your right wrist. Shin comes diagonal across the mat. To make sure you're not sitting on your foot, use your left toes to walk the left leg back, leg and knee. So you're on the top of the back thigh, and then extend the foot. We also don't want to roll to the hip. Some of you might be able to shift your shin further forward, but you don't want to hurt your knee doing that. So let yourself find a way here to fold. Bring the forearms down, and then breathe. Let gravity do the work. We did start late today, so we'll probably end later than we were initially planning to end, but this might be a slightly less than an hour class just because we started late. Of course, if you're not watching live, you know exactly how long it is because YouTube will have told you before you pushed play. Let go here and breathe. All right, and then coming up carefully, support yourself with the right fingers to bend the left knee and reach back behind you with the left hand for the foot. Draw the heel in towards the hip for a quad stretch. And let that go. Let's return to down dog. And you can shake out the right leg or kick through the heel. The sun is going down here. But I think there's still a little light. I've got some light in my house. Let's take the left leg up. Open the hip and bend the knee. Point the knee to the sky. And then draw your knee forward to set up for your stretch. Just mirroring what you did on the first side. That is probably the simplest instruction I can give here. Find your way in, and then move into a fold to get that nice hip opener. And come on up and move towards the quad stretch, this time for that right leg. Draw your foot in any way that feels good here. And let the foot go, hands to the mat, down dog, shake out the left leg or kick through the heel. All right, let's take the knees to the mat, and we're gonna take a camel pose here, Ustrasana, just for a nice back bend here. Back bends can be a little stimulating to our nervous system, so I would say we don't wanna overdo them at night, but they can actually also feel really good. So we will finish up with some twists and some forward folds. But let's just take one nice back bend here. I'm going to do this one with toes tucked just to keep my heels a little closer. But if you feel confident, you can reach your heels with feet extended. Or if you feel like you're going to keep your hands on your back anyway, you can choose to extend the feet. So up to you. Take this in your own way. Keep the hips over the knees, though, to really keep that back bend happening. Chin in or head could go back to your shoulder blades. Breathe. And then supporting your waist to come up when you're ready. Let's drop to the left hip and cross the right leg over the left leg for a seated twist. So make sure your sit bones are both on the ground. And then with the right knee up, use your left arm around or past that knee to turn over your right shoulder. All right, take yourself out of this twist, and hey, let's do the other side. So tuck the right leg, step the left foot, use your right arm to assist you here. Okay, come on out of the twist. And then let's just really, let's take Janu Shirshasana here. So, no, not Janu Shirshasana, Baddha Konasana. We'll do that and then we'll do Janu Shirshasana. So let's start with Baddha Konasana, soles of the feet in, knees wide. And then allow yourself to fold over the feet. Okay, take your time, coming up. Keep the left foot now tucked in, take the right leg out, and here's Janu Shirshasana. So engaging the right leg and angling your body a little towards it, arms up on an inhale, and exhale. Simple single leg stretch. And coming on up, let's switch to the other leg, left leg out, sole of the right foot tucks in. Inhale, reach the arms, and exhale, folding down. And then come on up. Give the legs a little shake out here. And this is where I would guide you towards Shavasana. If I'm going to come to just a simple seated position so I can close out the practice with you, and you can join me here as well if you'd like to spend a little time in Sukhasana or even a seated meditation. But if you're ready for Shavasana, this is where you might want to just allow yourself to come to your back on the mat.
Maybe hug your knees into your chest and, roll them around in a little circle, one direction and then the other, massaging your low back against the ground. Anything else that would feel really good? For example, maybe you want to take a little supine twist while you're on your back to one side and then the other. Maybe a little happy baby would feel nice. So give yourself, 30 seconds to a minute to really take the finishing poses that would feel ideal for you. But then ultimately laying yourself out so that you can take corpse pose for a good few minutes to really complete your practice in relaxation. Let go of the weight of the body and just enjoy some stillness. If you're sitting with me, you can bring your palms together in front of the heart. If you're laying on your back, just go ahead and let go. Let's take a couple full deep breaths in with exhales out, all together here. And we'll do 3 of these together. The light in me recognizes and honors the light in you wherever you are. Thanks so much for joining me today and sharing this practice. Namaste. All right, let go of your breathing practice, let go of your body. Enjoy some stillness here. If you did want to make a comment for this video, please do. Let me know if this is something that you'd enjoy. Let me know if this is something that you'd prefer to do live. This will stay up on my channel, presumably. So do you like to practice at another time? If you practiced at another time, when is that? Just say hello, that's all. If you like the practice at all, I'd love to just hear from you. But I'm gonna wrap up for now and take care. I hope you'll join me again next week or next time. Thanks so much.